I didn't change my mind, but
Who is God?
my father.
Your daddy? Oh, I thought your father still living? What were you wait?
My father,
You waiting on him to do what?
just guide the path.
What the? So you're not going to do anything to God do what?
Because I like what I do, I really do.
Right.
And I thought about it extensively, but then also there could be other things, talents that I can have that I can explore too. And maybe
But why not use the one you have already instead of waiting for another? You think, oh, you think God coming by and gonna bring you another one?
no, I'm just having a wait and see attitude.
Oh,
There you go.
and not use what you have. So
I'm
he sent
still
you.
using what I have.
He sent you some dogs. He sent you a job. He sent you an idea, and you're still waiting for an attitude.
I'm still having a wait and see.
So he sent you a boat, airplane, and
I'll take the boat.
and you didn't take either one though. You're still waiting for him. You're drowning.
No. I'm still working, I'm still getting dogs. I'm like booked out for months.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you wait for God.
Yeah.
What
Because
the?
you never know what's gonna happen. Sometimes you have to have a wait and see attitude.
Yeah.
All the time you have to have.
Four different places. Philippines, Malaysia, Japan.
They have white people over there?
Yeah,
How many black people over there?
not many.
Were you scared? Were you scared?
You're live, JC.
Oh,
I'm messing with you.
nice. Good morning. Welcome to church. I'm Jesse Peterson. You can get involved by going to our YouTube line, our chat line on YouTube, and Hake will take your questions and comment, and I will respond accordingly. All right. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
How's everybody?
Great.
Great.
Nice. So, any questions or comments or testimonies or anything that happened this week?
Well,
Nice. One person and two. Go ahead.
It's been a while since I've attended any service, and then going over your videos again, it just made me think. It made me realize that you can't do everything by yourself, and you do need the guidance of God to some degree, or at least to refresh your mind with the Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started reading, and I don't know, little things just started happening, and it's kind of.
Is this your first time here?
Yeah, my first
What's
time
your
in
first
church
name?
in a long time. Yeah.
What's your first name?
Hector.
Hector.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, man.
Thank you.
And so, have you forgiven your mother?
Oh yeah.
How did that go?
She didn't take it well. She constantly wants to fight, and I just walk away from her. I was like, I don't need to give
Yeah.
energy to you.
Did you marry, right?
Yeah.
You married your mother?
Huh?
Did you marry your mama?
No.
Oh, good. How did that happen?
Complete opposite, and
Nice.
so I'm like, this is a good sign because there's no, I don't have to argue with her. Whatever crazy idea I have, she's like, well, I'm gonna follow, and
Nice.
they hope, and she puts faith in me, so it feels good to have that next to you. So,
How long you been married?
5 years.
5 years?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right here and then there.
I shall be third.
Let me. Okay.
I just had two quick questions.
Okay.
One, I think I kind of know. What does it mean when people say, let the dead bury the dead? And then the second one is, what do you mean when you tell people, or you ask people, did you tell them how the cow ate the cabbage?
And you say you think you know what it means?
I think the second one, I know what it means.
What do you
The first
think?
one, I think it means telling people how the cow ate the cabbage. I think it means telling them the raw, unfiltered truth. Just telling them the truth. Am I right?
No.
Okay.
And the second one mean, but you don't know what the first one meant?
No, what it means.
Restate, go ahead.
What it means when you say, or when people say, let the dead bury the dead. What does that mean?
This young lady behind you want to tell you.
Me?
No, you.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Let the dead bury the dead. What do I think that means?
You heard that before?
Yeah, I guess more in passing.
I'm sorry?
In passing, I've heard it.
But you don't know what it means?
I've never thought about it.
Oh, okay. The young lady next to her want to tell her.
I have no idea.
But you heard it before?
Yeah.
Did you think you know what it meant before now?
No.
Oh, good. Yeah. The young lady here want to tell her.
It's possible, I'm speculating, that it means let those who are dead, who are not awake,
Yeah.
bury those who are not.
Let the unconscious people who are dead, their eyes are open, but they're still walking in death, let them bury the dead. All people who are asleep, anyone who has anger is dead. You're walking dead. And so I mean that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the cow and the cabbage?
Just being honest. Not hating, but being honest.
Well, that's like telling the truth, the
Right.
raw, unfiltered truth.
But it sounds scary when you put it that way. Because it might not be a serious thing, but it sounds serious when you say the raw, unfiltered truth.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
well, because sometimes
And I don't
people
want you to
wanna
get
hear
beat
the
up.
truth.
I'm sorry?
You don't want me to get beat up.
I don't
Sometimes
want you
people don't want
running
to
out
hear
there
the
telling the
truth.
raw, unfiltered truth and,
Right.
and get beat up. Hold on a minute, sir. Hold on a minute.
Sorry.
All right?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Yes, sir. You have your hand, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, snap. Okay, I guess I should stand up.
Yeah.
Something else work. My name is Alonso Marquez.
This your first time here?
Yes, sir. First
Welcome.
time comer.
Welcome.
Right here by my friends. Just want to know what this place about. See, hopefully, maybe it might do me some good.
All right. Well, welcome, man. I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay. So yeah, I just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Nice.
We'll try to keep my mouth shut.
Nice.
And
Okay.
listen.
Okay.
That's one thing. I'm a good listener.
Right on, buddy.
Alrighty.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I just want to say the cows really like melons.
Like what?
Melons.
Melons?
Melons, yeah.
Watermelon? Oh, yeah, they
They
do.
love them.
They love, yeah.
Yeah, and they'll fight over it.
I remember
was
now.
Feeding some steer one day. I worked at Amy's farm
Yeah.
for a little bit, obviously because I got in trouble and had to do some community service. But and that was the greatest experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
You know, on a farm, that's what I want to do when I get my own land and everything. I want to have my own farm.
Right on, man.
And they really like the melons.
They love them.
Yeah,
You're right about that.
and the cabbage too.
And that's how the cow ate it. I want to deal with the biblical question. Anybody know what the biblical question this week is?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Anybody want to respond to it? In the hat.
I'm not sure what it was.
You don't know what last week's biblical question? Well, you can't answer that, huh? Right here. What was the question?
What is your greatest fear?
Yeah. What is your greatest fear? And everyone on this side of heaven has it. Some people working on it, but everyone has a great fear. I had a conversation with Joe L. this week about it, and it was so interesting. It was deep. And so what is your greatest fear?
You know, I've pondered this question quite a bit over the last week, and I don't face my fear. Like, before being awake, I'm like an ostrich. I just put my head in the sand. I don't think about fears. I don't think about things that I should be fearful of because I don't want to. So, you know, and I just bury my head in the sand. Traditionally, that's how I've been. So I can't think of a fear per se because I don't face.
And why don't you
look at
face them? And how will you get better or become free if you don't face it? Why don't you
I just wait
face it?
until they're in front of me.
But
Like,
you
I
s-
don't think about, oh my gosh, I'm afraid I'm going to die, for example. Even though if I thought about it, that makes me a little bit afraid because I don't know what to expect. But I don't think about it. Therefore, I don't have the fear because I choose not to entertain that. And that's how I've always been, like, and to a fault, to a fault.
So you choose not to face your fears?
Until they're in front. Now, if they're there, I'll face them. Once they're there,
But if,
right
if
there,
they're not there, how are you choosing not to face them?
I don't think about them.
You don't think about them?
I don't
So
at
you
all.
don't know what your greatest fear is?
I honestly don't. I don't have one.
Oh, you
I
have
used
one.
to. Okay.
Oh, you have one.
I do. I know.
Everybody
I know.
and their mama have one.
Well, okay. For example, I used to be so afraid for my mom. I used to pray to God, when my mom leaves, Lord, please take me with her.
Will your
let the
mother
rapture take
expire?
place. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you want to go to hell with your mama?
Well, I don't think she's there,
Where you
Jesse.
think? Where you think she is?
If there's a heaven, I know she's there.
So
I
you-
believe there's a heaven, and I
So
believe
you
she's
don't
there.
think your mother's in hell, but you think she's in heaven?
Yes.
But why do you think she's in heaven but not hell?
Because I don't think there's any reason she would have gone to hell.
Really?
No,
Wow.
at all. She did a great job. Come on, Jesse.
So, which is easier to think, she's in heaven or hell?
I cannot imagine that she would be in hell.
Really?
I cannot even imagine that. That's what I mean. I don't face things like I don't entertain that.
And what would happen if you entertain mama might be in hell?
I'm not feeling that in my spirit. It just doesn't resonate.
Amazing. Why not think of it either way? She could be in hell or heaven, you don't know. Because you really don't know. It's just a thought, but you don't know.
I don't think like that. I can't bring myself to think like that.
Really? You can't bring yourself to think, well, I don't know where she is.
No.
What would happen if you left a blank space?
I don't think anything would happen.
But do you know she's in heaven?
I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure.
So why not leave it as that then?
I agree. I think that's a good idea. to do.
Because if you think she's in heaven, it's just a thought that came from the devil.
I agree.
I watch these on Sirius, I think, not Sirius, but I watch these shows about these people who, entertainers and things like that, and they do autopsies on them after they die to find out why they died. And they have miserable lives, right? Just like we all do who are in a fallen state. But after they die, everybody said they're in heaven.
Right.
I'm like, that person was in hell. What made you say they're in heaven? While they're on earth, they were in hell, living a hell life, right? But when they died, they're in heaven. I bet that heaven is so empty up there. But anyway.
So, well, what makes you think she's in hell?
But I don't know.
Okay.
No, I always hear people say everybody's in heaven.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I went to a
yeah.
funeral once, and a family member died, and nobody liked the family member when they lived, right? Nobody liked the family. They hated to see him coming. But when he died, everybody there at the funeral crying and carrying on. And everybody got up and lied about how much they loved the person, and they know he's in heaven. And so I got up there and said, I don't know if this person's in heaven or not. Y'all lying. You didn't like him when he was living. Now you're going to put him in heaven on God?
My mom was lovable, though.
Oh, yeah?
Everyone had great. Yeah.
That's your daddy.
She wasn't like that guy you're talking about.
But anyway, that's not important now.
I know.
Yeah. And so you don't know what your greatest fear is?
You know, Jesse, I know I have them. Trust me, I do. But I don't, I'm very Pollyanna-ish. I really am, to
Okay.
a fault. Like, I've been reprimanded over that in the past, just because I don't like my mind to go there. So I seriously do bury my head in the sand. That's something I need to work on. I know
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I know that.
Well, at least you know that.
Yeah, yeah.
And you need to work on it for sure. This young man want to respond. What is your greatest fear?
I'm afraid I'm not gonna accomplish the things I want in time.
In time of what?
In time where I'm still spry, because
We see a spry?
like I can still move
Oh.
around and everything. Because I've seen my grandfather just retired right now,
Right.
and he's not doing too well, and he's retired, and he's probably gonna have to go back to work.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm like, I see his life. I'm like, that's not the life I want.
So what does that feel like? I'm not going to get what
Like,
I want before.
I feel desperation to achieve what I want.
Really?
Yeah,
That's amazing, man.
yeah,
All right. That's your greatest fear.
yeah.
Okay.
Running out of time.
This young lady want to respond. This your first time here?
Yes.
Nice. And what's your first name?
Angelica.
You're welcome, Angelica.
Thank you.
What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear, I would say, is what recently is the fear I have right now, which is to not be able to help out my grandparents who basically raised me and pretty much give back what they gave me when I was younger.
Really?
So I'm scared, I'm scared that I'm gonna run out of time and not be able to provide that comfort to them before.
So
When
you're
they're still
afraid that you won't be able to help your grandparents?
Yes.
They raised you, so you want to be able to help them?
Yeah.
Help them do what?
Well, my grandfather still works, and I would love for him to just fully retire and not have to wake up every morning to. He works on cars, so I know it's a hard job. So I mean, he's pretty strong and healthy, but I would like for him to have the option of you know what, just you have the option to retire, not have to worry about that.
But suppose he doesn't want to retire.
I would love at least to give him the option.
I'm sorry?
You know, I would like for him to at least have the option to provide. I mean, if he wouldn't want to, it would be great, but I would like to at least provide the option for him. And I know
so
I can't do that now.
That's your greatest fear.
Mm-hmm.
So your husband is on the run thinking that he need to get some more stuff before he can't make it. And you up there worried about grandpa. The wife is not thinking about you.
Yeah, my grandfather's been our biggest help and support. So,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Amazing. All right. Right here, and then here. What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear is God.
Who?
God.
Who? God?
God.
And that's the same God she's waiting on?
Yes.
And so, your greatest fear is God. And why do you say God?
It's my only fear now,
And why do you say that?
because that's what he wants. He wants you to fear him.
God. So you fear God because He wants you to fear Him?
Yes.
And what does that feel like?
It feels like, I don't know, it's unknown.
I'm sorry?
It's unknown, so I'm
It's an
going by
unknown
faith.
fear?
Kind of, yes.
So how do you know you have it if it's unknown?
Because I read in the Bible that you must fear the Lord, so that's why I do it.
And so you read it
So
about
I don't know if I'm fearing him correctly or not.
Right.
But I do fear him because I know how worthless I am by myself. I'm nothing without him, so.
So you read in the Bible, you must fear God, and then right away you went, ooh.
No, not like that. First I looked it up, like, what does it mean to fear God? And then some definitions say it's like you're in awe of him, like you're amazed by him. But when I hear fear, it's like more like scared.
So what are you afraid that He's going to do?
I'm afraid that something was taken out of the Bible and I'm doing something wrong. But I also read that He's going to give you more books to know him. So you're not going to be left out with any secret.
So you think he's going to write some more books?
No, he already did.
Oh, I
But he's
see.
gonna make known to people that are awakened that they have access to those books.
And
For
so-
example, like example would be like the books they took out of the Bible back in the day that the Pope took out, like the Book of Enoch and all those.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing now when I'm meditating, like day and night. I'm just trying to discern like those different books that aren't in the today's Holy Bible and see if it's like if it's true or not.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. I saw your hand, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is your greatest fear?
Initially, my first thought was death, was physical death.
Right.
But then I thought about it a little more, and I think my greatest fear is really realizing or accepting the fact that I don't have control over anything. My death, or if I'm going to be successful or not, I don't have any control over any of that, really. So I think that's the biggest fear, is accepting that true fact that I don't really have control over anything.
Is it hard to accept that?
It has been, yes.
And how do you know it's been hard to accept it?
So, like I said, my initial thought was death, physical death. And I'm like, okay, but I can't really control
Right.
that, you know what I mean? So, but that was something I'm afraid of. Like,
Are
oh
you
my
still
God.
afraid of that?
I think I am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I am.
Amazing.
To a degree, so that's mine.
Okay. Why are you afraid of dying?
Because of the unknown, or just,
Whether you're going to go to heaven or hell?
yes.
Don't worry, we'll lie at the funeral and say you went to heaven. We'll act like you went to heaven, all right?
But
Do you want some ice water while you're down in hell?
Hey, it's anything that'll help, you know, I'll take it.
Did you know the people in hell want ice water?
And that's something,
My
even,
grandparents used to tell us that when we worked in the cotton field, and we were complaining, oh, I want some water. It's hot out here. And people in hell want ice water too. That meant we weren't getting any water. Not then. But go ahead.
no, I was just saying, even with that fear, I always realize, like, when people say, like, they're like concerned about what will happen at their funeral or something like that.
Yeah.
I always thought that was stupid, you know?
Yeah.
But
I know.
But I still have a little fear of just the unknown.
I had a family member tell me, what you going to do if we don't show up at your funeral? I'm not going to do anything. What, I'm going to get up and cry or something? Am I going to be disappointed y'all didn't show up to the funeral? That's a crazy question. Amazing. Okay, thank you. Yes, Raymond. What is your greatest fear?
I may have said it before, but my greatest fear is failure to be a better person.
To be a better person?
Yes,
Better than what?
better than what I was, what I am now, because I found I'm not a good person.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about finding that out?
Very humble and very small.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, interesting. The young lady in front of Raymond want to respond. What is your greatest fear?
I would probably say I have a couple, but
You have a couple of them?
yeah, but
Okay.
I don't really want to share them.
You don't want to what?
Personal.
You don't want to what?
Share them.
Oh, you want to share one?
No, them. Either or.
Oh, you have two?
Yeah, I would say I'd have a couple. Yeah.
But you don't want to share either one?
No, they're a bit personal.
Oh, okay. So you have a personal great fear, right?
Yeah.
It's so personal you can't face it?
No, I just don't want to share it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'd say I have a couple that I'm aware of. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes, ma'am. What's your greatest fear?
Being an incredibly selfish person.
Being an incredibly selfish person?
Yes.
Are you that?
I would say that I'm running towards that.
Or you're heading toward that?
I'm running towards that. Like if I notice that I'm displaying those traits, that I'm like watching myself in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're becoming a selfish person.
Yeah, because my birth mother was like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And what is it like seeing yourself? What does that look like?
It's hard. It's in like every day, just, you know, watching my behavior. But as I'm like watching myself and not judging myself through that,
Right.
it becomes a lot easier. So
So do you like the fact you're becoming that, or you're not?
yeah, it's great. It's free.
To become a selfish person?
No, to watch myself in that and
Oh, I see.
change and grow. Yeah,
Nice.
it's awesome.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's rewarding.
Is what?
It's rewarding.
Right.
Honestly, you've helped me so much, so I appreciate it.
Right on. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Sean. And then this young lady want to respond.
Yeah, I've had.
What is your greatest fear?
I've had sicknesses in the past that almost got the better of me. So I think getting sick and dying would be.
Oh, I forgot about
my
that.
greatest fear.
You're afraid of bugs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little too tall to be scared of bugs, huh? Can you imagine a bug running through here right now? He starts screaming.
Yeah, mostly spiders. Yeah.
So your greatest fear is dying or bugs?
Yeah, probably like getting sick and dying would be my greatest fear.
Getting sick and dying?
Yeah.
And what does that feel like? That kind of fear?
Doesn't feel good. Feels weak.
Oh, okay.
Feels like weak to have that kind of fear.
Yeah, it is a weakness. Okay, amazing. This young lady want to respond.
Hello?
Okay.
Oh, my greatest fear would be like right now, I suppose, going to hell.
Going to hell?
Yes.
Oh, and why do you feel going to hell when you're already in hell?
Because I think it's worse. Well, I know, I mean, I realize it's hell is here on earth, but I think that there's like.
Do you know you're already in hell?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And so can it get any worse?
I believe so.
In what way?
I believe it's because, like, it would be forever, whereas here it's just like, okay, it's temporary. I
That's a
look forward
good
to going
point.
to heaven.
If you die in this hell, it's forever.
Yes.
At least while you live, you have a chance to overcome
Yes.
it. Is this your first time here?
Yes.
Oh, what's your name?
Monica.
Hi, Monica.
Hello.
How did you hear about us?
Oh, I watch you on YouTube all the time.
Amazing, huh? Black people are funny, huh?
I love you. No.
As Hake would say, black people are so amusing.
No, you're amazing.
Amazing. And so, why don't you overcome your hell while you live?
Because that's a good question. I don't know if there's like any specific things. I suppose there's things I could do better, but that I'm not doing now. But for the most part, I mean, I've lived humbly, and I don't want to say I consider myself a good person because that would be like arrogant, I guess.
Right.
But yet, there's always some things we could do better.
Have you forgiven?
Oh yeah.
You forgave your mother?
Yes, I have.
You told her?
Yes.
And what did she say?
Well, it was a matter just of being able to communicate because she had a stroke, and then after that, she was a different person. It was almost like the devil just went out of her. So like for a year before she died, we had the best communication, and I, with good heart. Before I hated her.
Nice.
So, but yes, I spoke with her for a whole year. I mean, communicated like no other. Like we never had before.
How about your father?
My father is deceased as well, but yes, I have forgiven him because I blame my mother for him not being a father to us.
Yeah.
Well before I saw your show. So
Nice.
Watching you pretty much confirmed, because I just had these images of her like not letting him be a father to me when I was young, and I thought that was wrong growing up. Just looking back. So yeah, I have no hate or want for ill will towards anybody or myself.
Nice.
So yeah.
Amazing.
No anger.
You have kids?
I do.
You married?
No.
Oh, you ran your husband off?
Yes, and I have no anger towards him either.
Oh, nice.
He was, yeah.
And you have kids?
Yes.
Did you screw them up too?
I hope. I mean, it's like to certain degrees, maybe perhaps, but I would just hope that it would be like, I tried at least but the least amount possible, I suppose you could say. I mean,
Did you apologize to your kids? Let me know.
You know what? That's not worthy. No, I suppose no. But I could do that today, though.
But why have you done it already? Since you understand what happens, and they don't
because
sometimes.
I know, because I believe that it was just for me. Maybe, because one of them is screwed up. I think my son. But he's not. He's not that screwed up, you know.
Well, how screwed up do you want him?
No, I don't want him to screw up at all. But
He's not that screwed up.
I know, but things could be worse. I always try to, know that things could always be worse. So I guess that's why I look at like things when I shouldn't really be looking at things like that at all. Like things shouldn't be screwed up at all if I had any power or control over it, especially if it was my responsibility. If I'm the reason why he's screwed up, then I guess just being screwed up a little is too much.
Right.
So, yes, I could apologize to him today for that, honestly.
Oh,
I could.
I don't want to make you apologize.
No, I believe it's an important thing to do because as far as I'm concerned, now, I mean, if I apologize to him today, then there'd be no reason for him to come to me for anything, as far as like blaming me, kids want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not, because I'm not,
That's right.
So, yeah.
I'm not, This your son here?
No, this is my daughter.
Oh, that's your daughter?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can ask her if I...
Did she screw you up?
Sure, I don't know.
Speak into the mic for me.
No.
Speak into the mic for me.
Oh.
No, I don't think she screwed me up.
A little bit?
No, I don't think so.
What would happen if you told her the truth?
She'd be like, okay.
She would, okay, just a little bit.
Okay.
Have you forgiven her?
Yeah.
You told her?
I forgive you. Thank you.
You just not telling her? What the?
Well, I think she has told me that she's sorry before, and I was like, it's okay.
Do you have anger?
No.
How old are you?
I'm going to be 27.
I can't hear you.
27?
You're 27? Yeah. And you don't have anger?
No.
You never get angry?
Maybe at drivers on the road here and there.
So you do get angry?
Yeah, at drivers.
Right. And so you do have anger then?
Yeah.
Oh, why'd you say no?
I guess it depends on the circumstances
I see.
that you're put in life, what it throws at you.
Nice. How's your life going?
It's okay. It's been very challenging.
It's been challenging? In what way?
Just different jobs that I've put myself through. Like right now I'm doing wildland firefighting, so there's a lot of tests and strength tests that they want you to go through. So
I see.
Really pushing myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, any question?
Questions?
For me?
What's your fear?
I'm going to tell you in a minute.
Oh.
That's a good question. All right? Okay. How old are you? Oh, I'm sorry.
27.
You're
well,
20.
I'm 27. I'm 26 right now.
Oh, you're not 27?
Not yet.
But I didn't ask you how old you're going to be. I asked you how old are you?
26. Yeah. Right.
So why you say 27?
I don't know. I feel like I'm 27 already.
But how do you know what 27 feel like if you're still 26? Everybody I ask, how old are you? They always say what they gotta be. I wonder why that is. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
I wanted to.
I saw your hand, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to ask Sean, is it correct? You mentioned being afraid of spiders. Yeah. I just wanted to say something that it may help you, it may not. So when you're afraid of like small creatures like bugs or spiders or something, what that usually is you're afraid of small things overwhelming you, and so that's the reason why I tied into the sick and dying thing that you said as well. It's the same thing. You're afraid that something small is going to overwhelm you one day, and so in order to overcome it, you just need to deal with the small things in your life that you're dealing with, that you're avoiding, and then that you'll overcome it.
That's amazing. I've definitely been overwhelmed by small things in the past, and like as of right now, I could not imagine a life not being afraid of spiders and bugs. Like I can't even imagine. I've tried to imagine what it would be like to sit and like not get scared. And it sounds like so crazy now that I'm saying it, but yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, it is. I just thought you were beta. A grown man instead of spider beta.
Yeah, like I said, I've been overwhelmed by small things, very small, like completely insignificant things in the past.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Francisco want to respond, and then I come to you. What is your greatest fear?
I don't know.
You don't know your greatest fear?
No.
Okay.
No.
Amazing.
Good question.
Yes, sir.
It's an interesting. I like that point. I actually don't like spiders at all, and there's a different.
Are you
reason.
afraid of
I don't
them
think
too?
it's small things overcoming. What was that?
Are you afraid of spiders?
I totally don't like them.
Well, I have a bag full back there. Can
you
you
do?
bring me those spiders?
Yeah. So the reason
I want the ladies to see grown men run.
The reason I don't like them, right, is they embody, and I was talking about this to somebody the other day, but they embody all of the evil that I see in women. They trap you with their webs. They set up a little trap for you. You walk right into it. Then they get you and they ensnare you, and then they suck the life out of you from the inside out, right? And this is what I've experienced with fallen state women. It's exactly the same as a spider, and which is why when I see a spider, I'm like, I don't like that. I really don't like that thing.
The black widow spider. What a mess. Hake want to respond, and then the anchor baby wants to. Did you know that's an anchor baby?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he's a lot cuter in person.
He's what?
A lot cuter.
He's a lot cuter in person? Oh.
You look so nice today, that's why.
Yes. What's your greatest fear?
I do know that I am concerned about hell, like in the future, in my imagination, and I do know that I have like a general fear. Oftentimes, it comes up with like dealing with people, or the prospect of dealing with people. But I don't really know specifically what my greatest fear is.
So you're afraid of dealing with people, you say? The prospect of dealing with people? Why you sound so tough on the radio there?
Well, as one of the black guys who came to the men's forum pointed out, it's different on the phone than
in person.
In person.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. He sounded all brave on it. What's wrong with the blacks?
But I am tough.
You are tough?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Nick, what's your greatest fear?
I think being exposed or like being seen as, what I'm trying to say is, when I examined myself, and I was trying to examine myself over the week due to the question, instead of going to something I thought of, like, oh, that's my greatest fear, I just try to examine where the fear kind of comes up. And it's when I'm like dealing with people, and I notice myself trying to seem a certain way.
Okay.
So if I can explain it
Right.
as generally as possible.
And so when you see that happening, how do you deal with it?
I see that I get like fed like lines from the mind.
Oh, okay.
And it's total like a total script, like I'm acting. So I just don't say it. I just don't say the lines.
Oh, okay.
I just sit there and look stupid if I have to. I try to do that.
Amazing. Nice. You have your hand free? You thought of one?
So about fear, I've had it my life.
Your
I
greatest
don't have
fear.
a specific fear, but I kind of understand that whatever the fear I have, it's all of my pride, it's of my ego, of self, of the human part of me, I guess. That's the part that has the fear, because the other part that I know of God, who has love, and if you have love, then you don't have fear.
So why don't you know your greatest fear?
If I knew that, I'd like to tell you, but...
So where'd you get that from, what you just said?
Because I know the truth, as it says in the Bible, if you have love, it casts out fear. If you have love, you have peace. If you have love, you're patient, you're
So
understanding.
do you have love?
No.
Oh, what?
That's how I know.
Okay.
That's how I know, because those are the gifts of, those are gifts of the Spirit. If you had that, then you wouldn't have fear.
Okay. Interesting. Yes, ma'am. Interesting.
I think my greatest fear is that I'm never going to overcome this battle that's going on. Because as I look at, I've listened to a lot of different fears this week on the radio show, and I can see that when I'm really still, there really is nothing to be afraid of, even the unknown, because I'm in the presence of God. But without fail, I'm living my day and I watch myself. I got irritated this morning about something, and I think the thought that came to mind is the fear that I'm going to snap. You know what I mean? That I'm going to give into Satan, that I'm going to give into the world, that I'm just going to throw my hands up and dive the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
Because and I guess the intellectual part of me can say, well, that's stupid. I've already lived like that. It is hell. It is hell on earth. But it's wild watching, knowing that we're in hell on earth and watching the hell grow like gasoline on fire every minute that goes by. It's it's wild to.
Do you love your hell?
No, I don't love my hell.
So why not let it go?
I'm constantly working at that. I'm constantly aware that, like I said, I got irritated about something, and I can pause and get still and look like this is an emotion, this is a thought, this is a conversation with the devil, and I guess just as it pertains to this question, I think the only thing that I could come up with this week today was, I think my biggest fear is that this is never going to end. You feel like it's never going to end? This conversation with Satan, he just,
In your mind?
Yeah.
Oh, and you feel that it's never going to end? Did you say that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think that's probably my greatest fear, because it's so slippery, it's so shape-shifty, it's so, it comes in the door and tries to mesmerize you and take your mind in ways that you don't. Sometimes I feel like really at peace and really not interested in engaging in emotions, and then something comes through that I'm like, there you are again. Here we,
Yeah.
I don't know what my greatest. I think I'm so eager and willing and watching my ego die that I don't feel a lot of fear around losing anything. The more I've even tried to wrestle that as that process is gone, the more it causes me to surrender. I don't want to fight that. It's just the constant thoughts that are just. It's incredible, and
Yeah.
I think I do have a fear that that's just never going to end.
Speak up.
It's never going to end.
It's never going to end. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I have an ego answer and a soul answer.
An ego answer and a small answer?
Or soul.
A soul answer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Which you want to do first, the ego or the soul?
Well, my ego says that my greatest fear is that I'll be forgotten. My life didn't matter at all.
You'll be forgotten?
Yeah.
By who?
Everybody.
Everybody? Oh, yeah, we're going to forget you. As soon as we bury you and we come back here for some greens and candy yams, you will be forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll pretend that, oh, we're so sad, but we'll be lying. Why do you want to be remembered?
Probably for the same reason why Jesus wanted to be remembered.
Who?
Jesus.
Jesus?
And he, you know.
Why did Jesus want to be remembered?
So that he's always with us.
Speak from the chest.
So that he's always with us.
So you want to be remembered so you can always be with us?
Again, this is my ego talking. So I realize how ridiculous it sounds.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, even people, like, they have families, and their family, I guess they live on.
You notice how when people die, you forget them after a while? You don't remember.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you're not going to be remembered.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, and I totally get it. But
I'm glad you recognize that's an ego.
It's totally my ego.
Right.
I mean.
And so, and then the other one is what?
To be, like, disconnected from, like, people and from God. To be completely alone. That is, honestly, like, when I think of hell, it is like.
Speak up for me so they can hear you over here.
Oh, like, when I think of what hell is like, my greatest fear is just to be completely alone, disconnected from people and God.
Oh, I see. So your greatest fear is to be disconnected from people and be alone? People and God, you say?
Yeah.
And just be alone? You have a fear of that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I understand that. Amazing. Yes, ma'am.
I can't think of any one greatest fear. I can't think of anything.
So you can't think of anything? Oh, okay. Amazing. Yes, sir.
Just in response to what she said, I hope everybody forgets about me.
We will.
Oh yeah, and I hope so because I've had a few friends pass away, overdose on heroin and other things, and suicide and stuff like that. And, you know, I held on to it for many, many years, and it destroyed me.
Yeah.
It made me feel many ways, and it really destroyed me.
Absolutely,
And,
man.
Eventually, I came to this point in my head where my friend, I tried to interact with him, you know, in my head and tell him all the things that I needed to say, but at the same time, my friend was just like, dude, I'm gone. Like, that's it. It's good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in a better place now.
Exactly.
I'm at wherever I'm at.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
That's
and
deep.
That was hard. That was really hard, but I don't want anybody in this world hanging on to me when I'm not here anymore.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they might remember me or something, but it's no big deal. You
Right
know,
on.
I had my time, and I got to enjoy the world and see it, and that's all there is to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Nick is right. What did you say?
I said when I'm interacting with people, I see fear come up because I'm trying to like hide.
Everybody in the world is don't want to be found out. You protect that false identity. You don't want people to know you're afraid. You don't want people to know you're this. You smile to pretend that you're nice. When you really don't like the person, you don't want to smile. You do things that you don't want to do. You put on a front, and you protect that front. You don't want the people to see it's a front. And so you protect that. I had some people tell me that they're afraid of, I had an interesting conversation last night with a friend, and they said they're afraid of their personality, their reputation being destroyed. And so I went through and with the reputation, I'm like, nobody care about your reputation. That's all in your mind. the people do not care about that. That's just an illusion, right? And then I had another friend, she said she was afraid of being gossiped about. She said that when she go amongst her friends, they all hang out together, they party. And for some reason, she think that when she lead a party, they talk about her. They say things about her that they wouldn't say to her, right? And so I was thinking about this. So that's the child of the greatest fear. Everyone has the greatest fear. And I was thinking about this over the weekend, all week. And I remember when I used to date a lot. And I used to, in order for me to break up with a woman, I had to have another one waiting in the West Ring. And so I would, because I remember thinking that, like when I first meet the woman, she made me feel so good. She loved me, I love her, we lied to one another, you know, we go to lunch, you know what I'm saying? And it was really a good feeling. Anybody ever had that?
Yeah.
I'm in love again, right? And then as soon as things start going wrong, because they do, now you feel unloved. You know, and you're trying to jump through hoops to make this woman love you, right? Because now you feel unloved. And then if it looked like the relationship is over, I would try to find another relationship to get in real fast so I could feel love again. And so I was thinking, well, that was so interesting to go through that. Why did I feel that? And I realized it was an idea. It was never real. I thought that she was making me feel good, but she was really making my ego to not me feel good. It was never me, but I thought I was feeling good. And then when she wasn't around, I would feel jealousy or bad. And I realized that wasn't even me either, that was feeling bad. But because I was identifying with the identities, and everyone have a truckload of false, fake identities, right? And because I was identified with those things, I thought I was being hurt or made to feel good. And that I loved her and she loved me, but I never loved her and she never loved me at all. It was all about this false self, this false ego. And what I realized from that is that everybody, every human being protect a false self. You protect a false ego. And you were saying earlier, you never really face these things, right? But when the false ego is when you feel fear, when you feel shy, when you feel doubt, when you feel insecurity, when you feel worried, when you think about tomorrow or yesterday, or when you think about what you have or don't have, or when you compare yourself to others, try to be rich or try to be poor, all of those are false identities. None of those things are real. They are totally the nature of the devil. When you think of yourself as being an alcoholic or a drug addict or any form of identity at all, or you have a reputation. You don't have a reputation. Everybody gossip about everybody. Have you talked about other people behind their back? You've been talked about. That's what the children of the lie do. They're the children of the devil. Just as when you've done it, you were the child of the devil. Talked about other people behind their back. This idea about reputation is a false identity. And we are afraid to face that. The greatest fear is to overcome the false identities that you have. Because what you don't know is that those false identities, if you face them, shaking your boots. So when Hake was saying that when you have to deal with people, you have to deal with people, and you feel a little shy about it, you feel a little nervous about it, don't run away from that, run to it. Let it happen. Let the fear happen and feel the fear. Relax in it. Even if you feel desperate or the end of life or whatever. Desperation. Let yourself feel the desperation, because the desperation is the nature of the devil. It's not you at all, but you have identified with it. But if you feel it instead of loving it, and people who run away from it, they love that feeling. They love the feeling of fear. They love the feeling of doubt. They love the feeling of holding on to a reputation or holding on to this or holding on to that, pretending. I realize that human beings love feelings. They do anything, whether it's a bad feeling or a so-called good feeling, they work overtime to get a feeling. When you start loving feelings, you'll be free. And the only way you're going to start loving feelings, this false self have to die. You are none of those things at all. And that's why in the scripture it said we should die daily. And die daily is when you're facing these things and not trying to prevent these things from happening, but face them. And Satan doesn't want to die. He wants to live in your body. He lives in human body. He and all his little demons, and they come in under the headline of oppression, suicidal thoughts, depression, loneliness, and all that. But when you allow those things to die, you're going to see that that's the spiritual death that we all have to do. There is no way around it. If you want to live, you must die. You're never going to live until you die. And the only way you're going to die is you got to face the so-called loneliness. You got to face the anger. You got to face the fear. You got to face everything is false. It's not even real. And when Satan said to you, well, how long is this going to last? Like you were saying about all those thoughts, and it just looked like they're never going to end. And the voices say to you, well, how long do you have to suffer? How long are you going to be afraid? What Satan is really saying, I don't want to die. But he sounds like you, so it feels like you're tired, and you're tired of dealing with it. But it's really him crying out that I don't want to leave you. I don't want to die. It's not you at all, but it sounds like you. He'll tell you, take a drink, call somebody, bake a cake, clean the house, anything to get you distracted from the lie. The greatest fear is dying from the false identities. And we always get the opportunity to die from those identities in almost every situation. When we have to talk to someone, when we have to work or whatever, dealing with people or being alone, and you feel lonely or you feel afraid. Those are the things that you want to face so you can die. You don't want somebody else to make you feel good to forget that. You don't want that. That is a false identity, and it's not you at all. Some people feel lonely, they take a trip. Oh, I'm going to Florida. And then all that hell go right to Florida with you. And it come back from Florida with you, and it's still with you. You got to die. There's once to die and once you live. And once you die from those things, you will no longer be afraid of death because death won't exist anymore. It won't exist. Yes, your body will fade back into the dirt, right? But death won't exist. Death itself is an illusion. The only death you have to go through is a spiritual death of the nature of the devil. And so when people talk about you, that's why Christ said we were blessed when people talk about us. When people gossip about you, when people lie on you, because you've done it too. You're no different than, in that fallen state, we're all working with demons. And nobody has love, and everybody done the same thing that everybody else is doing. And when you're in that fallen state, you roam the earth to see who you can hurt. So you can get a false sense of life. Isn't that amazing? Even the idea of friendship is an idea. It's not even real. That's why you jump through hoops for a friend. Well, I thought you were my best friend. It was a thought. We can get along with people without attaching ourselves to them. All those things are identity. You don't have any love. You're not love. You're not hate either. It's the spirit of the devil that made a home in you. You're possessed. And that's why in God's eye, you're neither guilty or unguilty. You're not a saint or a sinner. Because God knows that we have all these identities. We have false identities in us. And it's driving us to do the things we do. If you were in a fallen state, you would never hurt another human being. I mean, if you were in the risen state. It's only in the fallen state that we hurt one another. We do cruel things to one another in that fallen state. But when you rise above that, and you will, you will never hurt another person, period. Because you won't need them. You won't need friendship from them. You won't need loveship from them. You won't need relationships from them. You won't need all that emotional stuff to make you feel any kind of way, and yet you'll get along with everybody because you would not need them. You could live as husband and wife and not need one another at all. And if one decides, well, I'm done with this marriage, you'll be like, oh, okay, bye. You won't have to go through heartaches and breakups and get call mama, mama, you left me. And mama like, come on home, baby. Mama got you. There will be no feelings about it at all. You're too into feelings. Your greatest fear too is to let feelings go. Human beings in the fallen state literally think we need to have feelings. How do I know I love you? I feel it. That's not love. When somebody tells you they feel it, what they're telling you, they hate you. Because that love feeling will quickly turn to a hate feeling. Because it's already a hate feeling. It's just called it love because it feels good. But you got the greatest fear is all these identities that you've pitched up along the way in life. I'm smart, I'm dumb, I'm this, I'm that. Listen how you talk about I, me. That's all ego. Everything about you. When Francisco would talk about vanity, it's all about vanity. Whenever you hear a person talk about themselves so much, they're vain. When you see people crying, why are you crying? Oh, I'm so hurt. Why are you hurt? My dog died. When they're telling you, I'm a vain person, and I love crying over the dead dog, and I need you to hear it so I can stay in my vanity. Pay me attention. You know how people get mad if you don't pay them attention? You give them attention? The wife could be complaining about something, and the husband not even interested. You don't love me. But why you say I don't love you? You're not paying attention. You don't care about my feelings. And what she's saying, I'm a vain ego. I love these feelings. I need you to pay attention to them. This is my life. And then she'll go cheat on the man. Well, why'd you cheat on him? Well, he wasn't paying attention to me. He wasn't giving me enough attention. I'm like, are you crazy? This new man that you're with, once he gets done with you in bed, it's over. He ain't gonna pay you attention no more. He don't love you. It's just ego feeling, that's all. Isn't that amazing? Lady, men don't love you. Once they get you in bed 2 or 3 times, they don't know what to do with you. They're like, Lord, what am I gonna do with her now? I got all my satisfaction from her. I don't even know what to do with her now. And you up there telling me, well, I thought you loved me. No. Men don't love women and women don't love men. Yeah, something. But the greatest fear is all these identities you have, which is of the devil, they're not you. The real you will appear up here, and I don't want you to get any idea of what the real you look like, because the devil used that against you too. You'll know when you find the real you, but you must die. And when you forgive, because God is the light, right? And the light will destroy the darkness, all these fake identities. All these fake identities. When you forgive, the light will turn on, and it will start to show you the fake identities. For those who are truly seeking His way, He'll start to show you, and you'll start to let go. Somebody mentioned the greatest fear was letting go. The greatest fear is, one of the greatest fear is letting go, and letting these ego, false natures die. Joel and I was talking about it, and he was like, my greatest fear is letting go. I feel like I'm falling, and I'm holding on to a stern wheel. I cannot say it as well as he said it, but an example. And I feel like I'm falling, and if I let go of this stern wheel, I'm going to fall all the way. But that's what you want to do. You want to fall, and God will catch you. He will catch you. But you won't let yourself fall. You hold on to the false identity. You hold on to the ego. But let yourself fall. Let go. reality is there's nothing we can do about ourselves. That face that reality, there's literally nothing we can do. That's another lie from the devil that we can change ourselves, and we can't. You could read the Bible until the cows come home, until they eat up all the cabbage and the melons. You still can't save yourself. We cannot save ourselves. The devil got you thinking that you can. Oh, if you read a lot of books, if you go and do this, if you feed the hunger, go downtown and feed the hunger, feed the poor, right? You'll be saved. No, you won't. You just would have wasted time on the hunger who would think that they're better than you. You notice how the hungry people come around, they throw all the trash out of the trash can right in front of your business, and they'll leave it there. And if you say, pick up that trash, you can't tell me what to do. Isn't that amazing? The homeless person feels like they're better than you, just like you feel that you're better than the next person. It's a false identity, folks. And that cry, and it's like what you were saying, those who are really sticking with it, that cry for life that you hear in your head, it's the devil crying out. It's not you. He doesn't want to die. And he's going to scream at you, he's going to accuse you, he's going to yell at you, he's going to bring in all these thoughts about things happened 30 and 40 years ago or yesterday or even this morning. Just let it pass through. Don't hold on to it. What he's really saying, I don't want to leave your body. I don't want to die. But you think it's you. It's not. The greatest fear is dying from the identities. They're all false. You're neither lonely nor happy. You're not alone. God is with you. God is not accusing you of anything. He knows that you're possessed. We are all possessed with the demon spirit in our imagination and emotions. They're not you. They're in your physical body, but it's not you. So you got to endure that too. Endure the pain, the false feeling of happiness and the false feeling of sadness. It's all fake. I know I see a bunch of hands. Let me do this for you. I saw here and there and there. Yes, sir.
So it seems like the reason why it's so hard is because in that fallen state, we get a customized personal hell experience for each individual. And so that's why someone else's hell experience could look different and their struggle may be different, because it's tailored to what you were drawn to or what you used when you were traumatized. When you were traumatized and you went into a fallen state, whatever you ran to as your help after that, that's what you identify with.
Whatever you overreacted to.
Whatever you overreacted
the
to.
reason Sean has the fear of spiders and things, whenever that first incident happened, whether he was a child or adult, the moment he overreacted, the fear came.
Yep.
And he became afraid.
And that became your personalized custom hell experience. And until you run to that, you won't ever be able to overcome it. It's personalized to you.
When the fear comes of spiders, and he be shaking it, but the spider sitting there looking at him. You gotta just look at that spider. You gotta look the devil in the eye and shaking your boots. It's like facing mama. But when you go and face mama, the fear of mama leaves because it was just an illusion, right? And so when he faced, and that's what, when he faced the spiders and the things, once he shake in and be all afraid, and the devil like, oh, you better run, they're gonna get you. Don't run, face it. And let your whole body tremble. Don't run, and it is dying. And everyone who has anger has fear. Everyone who has fear has anger. You can't have one without the other. And everybody has fear. That's why you won't face the loneliness or the sadness or the depression or the spiders or this or that. You have fear of losing your false identity. Isn't that amazing? It's not real. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. It's not real. It's just not real. And don't let the world tell you that it's real. The world is promoting this evil stuff. They tell you to take on these identities. Who would I be if I didn't have love? You're going to be the same person that you were when you thought you had love. Nobody. Nobody. You want to live life with no identities, but they got to die away from you. And opportunities to give you the chance to die. It's not for you to let this thing live in you, it's to let it die. All right? Yes, sir. Does that make sense a little bit?
Yes, sir.
I think Harry's saying when women say that you're not listening to me, you're being insensitive, you don't validate my feelings, what she's really saying is, you're a man, and you're a man. And I'm like, yeah, I am all those things. Because I don't need to validate your feelings. I'm not responsible for your feelings. I hear your feelings, but I'm not responsible for them. And you can't sit here and try to blame me for them.
Right. When she's saying you're not worshiping me, I need you to worship me so I can stay alive. That's what she's saying.
But she's saying you're a man because you're not doing that. Men don't do that.
Right.
So she's saying you're a man. You're a man. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
But in her mind, she's saying you're not worshiping me so I can stay alive.
Right.
That thing wants to stay alive. And the worst thing that a man can do is worship that in a woman. If she said you're not listening, okay, I'm not going to listen. You got to overcome that hell in you. That's a false identity. And if the man loved the woman, he would tell her that and not cater to that. And then in about 50 years, she would start to come around. And then you would die, but at least you would die with a smile on your face because you would see that my wife finally waking up. And your kids will be fine. They'll be fine. They won't have to suffer because you protect the kids from that, right? Yes, sir.
So I have two verses in the Bible that talk about love. First is 1 John 4:18. In love, there is no room for fear, but perfect love casts out fear. And people think that fear implies punishment, and it's not. It says no one who is afraid has come to in perfection of love. So it's a way you become more perfect.
The interesting thing about that, reading it means nothing to anyone. It doesn't mean anything. I've heard that all my life. And I'm sure you all have heard that, right? Perfect love casts out fear. And so the Christian walk around, I don't have any fear. Perfect love, and they just afraid of as anything, right? Because just reading that and hearing that only feed the ego. It's just ego knowledge. And if you hold on to that, you'll walk around claiming you have love. And the first thing that happened to you, you're judging, you're on the run, you're joining a club, you're trying to get a false identity. But you know perfect love casts out fear, but you have none. Because Christ does not give you the spirit of fear. It does not come from God. It's totally the nature of the devil. And what we need is a brand new nature. And when you let this false nature die, this ego nature, you will have a normal new nature, which is the nature of God. So it's not enough to just go and forgive. And your heart will change if you truly see that you resent, you judge, right? Your heart will change from anger to love. Now you got the power, you got the authority of God to destroy the darkness. Because the darkness really don't have any power at all. It's fate. He's been defeated. And so if he can't make you continue to identify with him, and that's what he's trying to do, is to make you identify with him by making you think that it's you, and it's not you. I want you to really, really notice it's not you. But it's not going to change until you go through it. Don't be running from the devil. He ain't going to do nothing. When you face him, you're going to see that all his little scare tactics and things like that was fake. He ain't going to do nothing. Yes, sir. And then I'll take you.
And so the last two things, Paul, he denied Christ 3 times, and that was his ego. He felt afraid, he felt embarrassed and ashamed, and so he didn't even think, Jesus didn't have the Spirit yet. And the other about love is these people in the Bible, they must have had it. So the one verse that comes to mind is love does not envy, it's not boastful, it's not arrogant, it's not rude, it's not self-seeking, it's not irritable, and does not keep record of wrongdoing. Love is kind, love is joy, love is righteousness. But those who...
So let me just do this because of time. We Bible Thumper go on all day. We have Bible Thumper on Thursday, buddy. So everybody's wondering, why don't you drop the knowledge and come to the wisdom so you can know your worst fears and get over? Why hang on to the knowledge?
If I knew that, I would have it.
No,
I had that.
but they want to know, why don't you do it?
I've tried.
You tried what?
I did everything that knowingly and spiritually, giving myself to Christ and forgiven. And I think it's something that has to be given to me.
You tried to do what?
I've tried to do all those things. The Bible thumper things, I gave those up. Facing my fears, facing my...
But you're not facing your fears.
I am.
If you were facing your fear, you would have known at least what one of your little great fears was.
I did. I told you that all my fears are of my ego. All my fears are my pride. I know that. I know that. And those things are dying.
But if they're not dying if you're not facing them.
They're not dead.
They're not dying if you're not facing them.
I am facing them.
Lord have mercy.
I am.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not there yet, so you know what?
You're not where?
I have not arrived in perfect love like those guys who wrote about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. And he give a good, but you got to let the knowledge go. Because people get locked in the knowledge. The knowledge, it comes, you hear it, but let it fly away. And wisdom will come. It will, and you will live by wisdom. But if you just quote this stuff, you're not going to be ready when Satan come after you. He's going to blow you away. Because you think it's you. You're none of those things. And stop judging yourself because you're not guilty. They had the little pride thing up there, right? Pride thing. It's so sad because they have convinced these people that that's who they are. And they believe it, and now they out there acting like demons. Yeah. When you see them, you can't hate them, you can't judge them, you just see the demons in them. They're like real nasty, publicly doing gross stuff and just so demonic. But it's the same spirit in everybody, in everyone. It's the same spirit. You may have believed that you were this or that, or you're into your blackness, or you're into your whiteness, or you're into your Jewishness. It's all fake. It's keeping you away from the true self. And then everybody fight over trying to act like they're whoever they think they are is better than the next person. And so they fight. Try to prove one is better than the other. The government doing the same thing. Everybody fight over ego stuff, over false life. A mess. I know. It is a mess. When you truly wake up, you're going to wonder, how in the world was I involved in that mess? You're going to want to slap yourself. Yes, ma'am. Did I see a hand over here somewhere? Oh, okay. Oh, right here too. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just what's happening. I think I appreciate everything you just said, because I think what is happening is my ego is dying every day. It's like God brightens the light in the room notch by notch. Like, I just see so much, and what happens simultaneously as this is happening is, like this morning I woke up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something in a nightmare that I don't know if it was a nightmare or I was awake and the devil himself was in my room, like.
When you wake up, when you start to wake up, the devil get very, very busy. You wake up when you truly start seeing what's going on.
And that
you can go to bed at night, and when you open your eye, he's right there already.
Right.
You're already thinking and feeling fear or something. You know what I'm saying? Because you were unconscious while you were sleeping, and so people ask me about dreams. I now understand that when they go to sleep, you fall into unconsciousness, and all that hell come alive. And it's the same hell that hit you when you're awake, when you're walking around.
Yeah.
It's the same hell, but it's just that you're in the bed sleeping.
Yeah. I used to be really freaked out by that. And if I'm being really honest, there's a moment where it kind of takes my breath away for a second, but I know exactly what it is, and I can sit still in it. But then when I really wake up for the day, and I'm starting my day doing my things, like, it's like he's like, got to remind me that I still have emotion, because I read a text from somebody, and my first thought is like, this person is an idiot, and then I have to pause and look at, like, I have to, it takes work. I have to look at this text. I have to acknowledge that they don't know what they're talking about. It's okay that I don't think they can read. It's my problem. I have an you know what I mean? Like, and so by the time I've read this text and I go on with my morning to do something, I've done like 80 different steps to get still.
Yep.
And I think that's really what's just going on. Like what you said is that the more I see, the more I'm allowing my ego to die every day. I don't care about stuff that I cared about even a month ago.
Absolutely.
And I also can see that just even being out with some people yesterday, the conversation of the world is to just ask you questions to keep you in the world. And it's to no fault of their own. They don't know. So it's just, I can be having a good time and having a conversation about whatever, and suddenly I realize, like, I don't have language to the conversation's really over, because really it's like, what's your goal? I don't have any goals. And then people are like, what's wrong with you? How do you live in LA and you don't have any goals?
Right.
Like, what, and then I realize that's all I have to say. It doesn't matter what I say after that. It's just weird living in the world at this stage, and I think the more that I become okay with it and calm with it, the devil, I've had, he's literally just inviting himself into my room at this point, and that's just how it is.
Well, just relax. He's gonna get worse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm kind of like, well, let's go, bring it on. Like, just bring the band, bring the fan club, whatever. Like, just let's get this on and over with.
I'm telling you, it's gonna get worse. And I'm telling you this so you don't freak out and give up, cause he wants you to give up. That's why he's gonna get worse. Cause the devil. That's why you have devil people running around, cause he dwells in human beings. So you have human devils running around, right? But the devil he lives in human being bodies and minds. But it's interesting too, he lives in the human mind and body, but he doesn't live in you. He doesn't live in the real you, he lives in the physical you. He doesn't live in the ego you. Because it's his ego though, it's not even your ego. It's his nature. You just think it's your ego. But it's his nature. It's weird how that is, but when you start to see it, you can't believe what a fool I've been. What a fool I've been. That I've been believing this, acting this way, protecting a false image, trying to get it from the world. The world don't have it to give. Not one other human being have it to give, because we don't have love. We can't give you love. Love only comes from God. Nobody has love. But everybody lie to one another. Even parents, when they call the kids, right, and they get ready to hang up, I love you. You're just lying. And then if the kids don't say I love you back, but why do you say I love you back? That question alone is telling the kid, I don't really love you. I'm just saying that to get a good feeling from you. Isn't that true? Because if you love somebody, why do they need to tell you I love you back? That's amazing, huh? And then the parent feel bad if they don't say I love you, because they hang up the call feeling empty. Oh, and the devil said, you didn't tell that child you love him. Supposed to have a train wreck. Okay, you died not knowing I loved him. He's not going to remember anyway. But y'all getting this?
Yes.
And I want you to know the devil going to scream at you because he doesn't want to leave the soul. He doesn't want to leave the body. So he's going to yell, he's going to scream, he's going to send other demons after you. He's going to do everything, and you're going to be so afraid. There are going to be moments where you're so afraid you can't even move. Stay with it. It's all a lie. He will die. The light is destroying him. Let me take here, and then here, and I'll come back to you. Yes.
I have a daughter on the way.
Yeah.
What's some advice you could probably give me to not screw him up?
Never make a daughter first. It's a pure sign of beta. No, I'm playing. I'm just joking. Even though men used to make, we don't need no more girls. We got enough girls. Can you make a boy? Sitting out with back. No, I'm playing. Hey, I'm joking. I'm just joking. Just be of love and not of hate. And the light of God will guide you. He will work through you to guide your daughter in the right way to go. I promise you that.
And another question. So I've been doing this as of a few months back. I don't pay attention to people that want to argue.
Right.
And they tell me, you're disavowed. But right now that you were saying that, now it's making sense. Because granted, there's times where I'm like, man, it takes all, like my whole brain, like, don't say anything, shut up, don't even introduce this. And but right now that you were saying this, it just finally clicked, where it's like, okay, yeah, like that's why you feel better, because you're not.
You're going to feel 100% better when you don't argue.
Yeah.
But the devil will make you think you need to argue. Well, how are you going to look? They're yelling at you. They saying this, they doing that. You look weak. You look this. And he'll make you argue, and it just be two devils arguing.
Yeah, but now I let it go, and
yes,
so
sir.
right now that it clicked, I'm like, I don't care what they say anymore. Like that I'm weak, that I'm not telling the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, like you're good.
Nice.
But I feel better. Like right now that you said that, like how you feel after, like when you don't pay attention to it. Like yeah, I feel great. Like I don't have to.
I want you guys to try that this week. Your assignment. Don't argue with anyone. And just you're going to feel better. Yeah. You're going to be free. But if you argue, it take all your life, all your energy.
Yeah, I go to bed amazing.
Yeah. Nice. Stop the arguing. It's just devils arguing. And that's why the human devil come to you. They need to argue with somebody. And if they can't argue with you, they're going to find somebody to argue with. They will roam the earth and find somebody to argue with. And they'll feel at home. Isn't that something?
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Yes, sir, and then here.
My tooth was loose, and I was living with it, dealing with it, and one day I hit it harder. So it felt super loose, and I was panicking in my room, just freaking out, sweating my chest. Oh, my tooth's gonna fall out. I'm a server, bartender, or whatever. I'm supposed to smile at my job a lot, And then just kind of realized the next day how foolish that was and how stupid. I was sitting there what an idiot. What's the point?
Yeah.
Nothing, and just kind of let it hang and dangle. Finally came out, and I could eat again.
Absolutely,
feel better,
man.
and it was like freedom,
That's a funny one, but that's a good point.
Yeah, so I think I'm not gonna smile as much, and I kind of realize now that I just don't care anymore.
Right on.
And I feel my mouth kind of tighten sometimes when I'm smiling, but I know that I'm not consciously doing it, so I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And to not do that. And also worried if my voice was gonna change, or I was hissing all the time,
Yeah.
I'm also a guitarist or a singer, so when I'm singing, is my voice, am I gonna sound the same as I was singing before? And I just got rid of all that.
Right on,
and
man.
I don't even know if there's a difference when I play it now. I don't even
That's
pay attention,
right.
It's
He's so right. Stop overreacting. And the devil wants you. God said, be still. So when this thing is dying, he made me realize something. When this ego is dying and the devil trying to scare you to get a reaction, don't react. Be still and know God. Let God do it. There's nothing you can do about it. Be still through all that. Be still mean when the devil's trying to destroy you or other people trying to take you over, don't overreact, don't argue, don't do anything. And it is dying, and you will be free. It's not just when you sit and pray, but when you're dealing with life too, when you're out there dealing with issues in life. Be still through those issues. The devil wants you to run because he wants to stay alive in you. But you be still through those issues. It's not happening to you, it's happening to him. It's not happening to you. Here, I think. I already went to you, right? Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I have a question.
Right.
I referenced earlier how I had this ongoing, it was an obsessive fear of my mother, passing away.
Right.
And once it happened, I ended up spending 3 years grieving, like 2 years, 6 months too long. And maybe even less. The grieving stage probably should have ended even far sooner than even the 6-month period, had I known what I know now.
Right.
So, after all of that was over, I realized everything's fine. Everything's good. The world is still spinning. My mother, everything is fine.
Yeah.
So, I think when I heard this question, I immediately went into my thoughts of what do I fear? And that impeded me. I don't want to think about what I fear. I would rather not think about that because I don't think it's fruitful nor edifying for me to do so. I would rather face the fear when it's here in the now, in the present. So while I feel like I do have a tendency to be very Pollyanna-ish in the way I view things, what do you say about just kind of burying my head in the sand until the fear is right in front of me?
This is self-examination. You ask yourself, what is wrong with me? I'm acting this way. What is wrong with me that my mother been dead forever and I'm still thinking about it, or I'm still feeling this way? The answer will come. You're self-examining yourself. You're not like getting all into thought, but you're questioning what you're thinking and feeling. And then the answer will come. You don't want to bury your hand in the sand, you want to face it. It's just part of self-examination, know thyself.
But isn't facing the fear, facing it when it's in front of you, not thinking about the fear that hasn't even come?
Well, you're not, if you are, let's say you're struggling with the death of your mother for all these years, right?
Well, I'm not anymore.
If you were, right, that's what I mean, when you were. There was something wrong with that. You were hanging on to thoughts then.
Oh, right.
You were into them about your mama, and the devil tell you how wonderful it was or how bad it was, whatever it may be. But if you had questioning that, why am I still holding on to her? She gone. The answer will come and you've been done with it.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I do agree with everything you said.
Right.
And as far as Sean and the spiders, if you see a spider, call me. I'm obsessed with them. I love spiders.
But the woman not even scared of the spider.
I love them. I love them.
Amazing. Did I see your hand?
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay.
When you become
another thing about, I want to use Peterson as an example. He was afraid to get up and speak, and I had to get up anyway. He got past that. He just faced it, and that's what you have to do. If you're afraid to talk, talk anyway. And shaking boot, tremble while you're talking. And the devil gonna say, oh, people think you look stupid, you up there sounding crazy. They see you, he gonna be talking to you, right, to get you to hurry up and sit down. But don't, see it through, face it. Because it's not you, it's another false identity. It's not you at all.
Yeah,
Yes,
when you bury your head in the sand, you're just pushing those emotions, those fears away, and you're going to have to face it. So, and when you do, that's when your ego dies. You're going to have to face everything. So even the stuff you're not even aware of, you're gonna have to face, and that's what makes it so painful. But what I was going to say back a while ago was, when you're born again, God gives you a new heart. Because for me, before that, I was born again. It was impossible for me to not have anger. It was impossible. But once He gives you a new heart, and He does, you will not you will not be angry with anything.
He will change your heart. Salvation is of the heart.
And he'll also renew your mind too.
Yeah.
Like, that was my problem. I would get sick sometimes, but now with the renewing of the mind, you lose your earthly knowledge that I had a lot of, and you start getting God's knowledge, which is wisdom. Like,
Absolutely. Amazing. Amazing. Isn't that interesting? And one last thing I think, I want you to know you're possessed. We all are possessed. Christ went along healing people. To see yourself, to overcome the anger is healing. Those spirits are being taken away from you. He is laying hands on you and taking away those spirits. But you are possessed. You're not in control of anything. And if we love one another, we'll be honest with one another. It's not you, it's the devil in you. You're possessed. You're not your thoughts. You're not your body. You're not your feelings. And so you got to work on you. You got to work on this. It ain't enough just to read the word. You can read the Bible until the cows come home and still be crazy. Matter of fact, you are crazy. Because you just quote the Bible, but you at night, during the day, when you're all alone, you're still afraid. You have fear. Everyone that has anger has fear. And everyone that has fear has anger. And that is of the devil. And one last thing. That's why God is not judging us. God is not telling you, oh, I'm going to send you to hell. He's trying to tell you to wake up. You're in hell. There's something? You're in hell. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You're in hell. Wake up. Most people think that, oh, they're waiting to die, physically die, go to hell, right? But you're already in hell. You can have paradise on earth, or you can continue in your hell. And people who love emotions love their hell. They fight for their hell. And they want you to cater to their hell. Help keep me in hell, lie to me. Isn't that crazy? But God ain't, being black, ain't holding nothing against you. God is not holding anything. We are free. In his eyes, when Christ came, it was finished. And you have never done anything wrong or right at all. It's always been, for those who've overcome, it's been God guiding it. The right come through him. Other than that, the devil has been making you do all this stuff. And you've been saying that it was you. And you know, you can get drunk to run away from this. Face it, and the alcohol will fall away. Then you can drink like you got some sense. Really. But every human being has this. All right? Was this helpful today? In what way?
It just it reinforces what I've already thought about or known, but it just makes you realize that a lot of your fear, if you just let go, like you said, then most of this stuff will fall away.
It will fall away.
The anger, all that stuff will fall away. So, but a lot of people just fear letting go. That's the biggest thing.
Let yourself fall. Let yourself fall. Don't try to save yourself. Let yourself fall, and he will save you. All right? Was this helpful for you at all today?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, hold on 1 minute. I'm sorry.
Like how you're like identify the identities and just categorize them as not being you.
That's right.
You're just going through the motions.
That's right. They are not you. You've been driven by spirits in the mind and emotion.
And they like the hate, they like the fear, and
Yeah.
they feed off of the, what is it that when you first meet someone, your endorphins go up, and that spirit likes that too, and they want you to continue like a weird cycle.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Absolutely.
And that could fall under it's like the same thing as an abusive cycle. Like the highs and then the lows.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of like expect it and you want that, but it can be so dang confusing.
It's pure evil. The highs and the lows are evil, and they're not you. That's amazing. So I want you to do the silent prayer. I don't know, have you heard me talk about the silent prayer?
Yeah.
Are you doing that?
Yeah, in the night, I don't do it in the morning.
Do it in the morning too, so that you can, all these identities, these impressions you have about yourself and worried about what others think about you, it will all disappear and you'll be free. You're none of those things. You never have been, you never will be. It just, you believed it, and it feels true because you believed it. All right, so don't ever call yourself anything. Don't identify with anything. Have no identity. And don't let anyone try to make you have identity. Okay, you can have your identity, but I ain't going. I've been down that road before. Not going back. Any questions about that? Anything?
No.
Oh, okay. Nice. Was this helpful? Was this helpful for you today?
Yes,
I'm
it
sorry?
was. It was helpful.
Speak from the chest.
It was helpful. I
And
kind of knew that I wasn't supposed to hold on to my fears.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right. So seeing this and hearing this was a confirmation for me.
And when the devil hear you saying that you're not supposed to hold on to him, he gonna rush you tonight. You're like, oh yeah, let's see you. But just shake through it, that path, and just know you in a thought and feel that it's not real. Oh, I see you, devil. That's not me. I know that's not me. You know what I'm saying? And he will depart.
Right.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Uh-huh. Just say what you didn't want to say. If it's personal, don't, but, oh, okay. All right. Did this help a little bit? In what way?
I feel like every time we come, though, it's just a reminder of still practicing the same things that, like just kind of, how do I say it, like remembering all the things that I'm still growing through and learning through. That makes sense. So it's just another reminder to stay on top of certain things. And
You will get to a point where you won't have to work on these things anymore. It'll be gone. It'll be over. You would have died and risen. And you'll be fine.
I'm trying not to have a time limit on it, though, because I always used to think, I'm done now, but then I'm not. So I kind of forgot about that, and I just do every day and see how it goes.
That's right. Yeah. Do not cry, oh, Lord, when is this going to end? Lord, I've been suffering too long. How long is this going to last? This is too hard. The Lord don't want to hear that. That's whining. That's the devil whining. The devil said, I don't want to leave you. That's what he's saying. And he's making it hard on your mind and body. All right? So just remember, the greatest fear is letting go of all your identities. And Raymond, and so next time, when the devil wants you to say all those horrible things about yourself, don't say it.
Don't say it?
No, because it's not you. Unless you're saying, I know that's not me. Don't claim it. I promise you it's not you. The real Raymond is not depressed. You're not mean. You're not nasty. You're not worried. You're not none of those things. There's a spirit that made a home in you. That's what Paul was talking about. It's the spirit. It's not you, so stop identifying with the spirit.
I understand that, but I still bear some responsibility for it, don't I?
What responsibility?
For my sins?
No. No. How can you bear responsibility when it's not you that committed the sin?
Sounds like I'm passing a buck to somebody else.
You are, right to the devil. You're passing the buck to where it belongs.
Fuck the devil.
The only sin that we have to confess is that we have hatred in our heart. We're judging. We're playing God. That's the only one. All these other identities, all these other vices and things, that's the devil in us. It ain't you. You're not responsible for that. You're responsible for admitting you're wrong for hating. And anyone that judges anybody themselves or anyone, playing God, and you would never know God. It's enough to see it, but don't hate what you see. They can't help it. All right? But all these vices and stuff that the world trying to make you identify with, they're telling you to stay with the devil. I'm with the devil, I need you to stay there too. Because the devil loves the devils. Hate the devil, they don't love each other. All right? All right, folks, I hope that just helped a little bit. And work on yourself. Keep your eyes on yourself. When you wake up in the morning and you're already in fear, thoughts and feeling, just know, you know what? That's not me. You just fell into unconsciousness while you were sleeping, that's all. And it's just exaggeration of what happens when you're awake. And you're unconscious, but you, in your head, it's the same thing. All right? And the devil tell you, oh, that's a dream about God. That's a dream about him. All right? It's not from God. God does not give you a spirit of fear. He loves us. He's not punishing us. God ain't the reason, because I hear people say, why did God let that little child die? God ain't got nothing to do with that. That's your responsibility. Watch over your child. All right? Okay, so stay with the prayer and watch and overcome the greatest fear of all these identities. You're not those things, so stop claiming them. They're not you. The real you have no fear, you have no doubts. You go against God even if you worry. You're dishonoring God when you worry about anything. Stop worrying. All your needs to be met. And this thing about I want to hurry up and get wealthy before it's too late or whatever you said, that's dumb.
Yeah, no.
That's so dumb. I know, huh? Yeah. It's stupid, that's right. Because all your needs are already met. They're already met. He tells you to take no thoughts about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, where you're going to live, and all that. I'll take care of that, and he will. You don't need to be rushing trying to get nothing. Take your time, go to work, do your save a little money, but don't worry and don't try to get any identity from it. Relax. It will happen on its own. I promise you it will happen on it. He loves it. Don't take any thought about that stuff. All right? Yes. And you're all proud. Oh, I worried about what? No. And now I'm better. But take no thought about that. All right, so do the silent prayer. Become your own man, your own woman. Do not be afraid to stand alone. And so when you do associate with others, you're going to have fun, but you won't do it to get a sense of identity. You will not be trying to get anything from it. And you can walk away from it, you can take it or leave it. All right? Thank you all for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it. The Women's Forum, thank you guys. The Women's Forum this Thursday, every third Thursday night for ladies only. So this Thursday for ladies only at 7 p.m. Bring your friends and everybody, all right? The women are on it. So,
Is Donna going to be there?
I'm sorry?
Is there Madonna? Is Madonna going to be there?
No, I don't know. You never tell who's going to show up.
Is there a biblical question?
Oh, I don't have a biblical question right now. Hopefully tomorrow or whenever, but I'll have one. What the? Yeah. But anyway, we'll do the super chats tomorrow and all that good stuff, all right? I hope that this will help. If it didn't help anyone else, at least let it help you, all right? And if somebody else don't want it, wish them well, and you live your life. All right. And thank you all. It was amazing today. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you.